Hi folks, this is Rob with MTG Investor, and I wanted to give you a little introductory video about myself and what my channel is aimed at. I've been playing Magic for a long time. I was first introduced to the game when Arabian Nights had just come out. Friend showed me how to play Magic. I wasn't really super interested in it at the time. Unfortunately, I wish I would have been, and I wish I would have been buying cards then. So I kind of just saw it here and there. I would buy it, go to the comic book store, or watch people play and stuff, but I didn't really get into it. And I didn't really get into it, unfortunately, until, well, I say unfortunately, but I got into it around the time that, let me see, Legends, Dark, so sometime around where Dark was out, Fallen Empires is really where I got into it. And you say, oh my god, that's like the worst set ever. Sure, probably is the worst set ever. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but at the time I didn't really know any better, so to me it didn't really care. But there was all these other, Legends. I could still get Legends. They were a little pricey, but I could still get them, or at least Italian Legends. But anyway, I've been playing for a long time. I started playing really hardcore by the time Ice Age was out, and was playing competitively by that time when the first regionals rolled around, the first Pro Tour started and whatnot. I play on and off. I'll play hardcore for a while, and then I get a burnout, and I'll take a break for Magic, and then I'll come back and I'll play hardcore again, and then anyway, I go in and out, in and out, in and out. I haven't really played competitively since about 2008. The last time I played competitively was back in the old extended, before what it's currently called. It's currently called Modern, but there was a time when extended became this really crappy thing where it was just like the last 2 or 3 blocks, I can't remember, or 3 or 4 blocks, I can't remember what it was. But anyway, back in the old extended, I played in Pro Tour Hollywood. And I have a lot of top 8s under, not top 8s in the Pro Tour, but just top 8s in general under my belt, which a lot of people can say. I've only played in the one Pro Tour, but played in several Grand Prix and stuff. Didn't do great at the Pro Tour Hollywood, but anyway, so I've been playing a long time, and to me, over the last several years, I play on and off. I have a good friend of mine, Ryan, who drags me to tournaments. I say drags, but I like to get out of the house and go play tournaments, and just see. I mean, I love Magic. I just don't play it competitively on and off very often lately. But what I do like is investing in Magic cards. I invest in a lot of things. I have a stable job and family man, husband, and I invest in, metals, gold and silver and things like that, and stocks, and but I also invest in Magic cards. And so what I aim to do with my channel is to create videos based on my speculation, and I've done pretty well for myself with Magic cards. I have a good eye. I've been playing for a long time, and even when I don't play, I watch. I watch the Star City Open Series, I watch Grand Prix, I watch Pro Tours, and so even if I'm not playing, I still have a pretty good eye for investments and how to make money on cards. So anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I look at cards. I'll probably do a series of videos on these, but when I look at new sets coming out, you'll see my notes up at the top of my screen here: release, and short term, and long term. And I want to kind of give you an idea of how I look at these things. So before a set comes out, like right now, for instance, Dragons of Tarkir is being spoiled. There are about 80 cards into the set being spoiled of the 264 cards. So only, a little less than a third of the set has been spoiled. So right now, prices are inflated for some cards. Some cards are undervalued right now. And so it's kind of a prime time to be able to look and see what are good things to pick up and what are things not. Now, when I buy Magic cards and invest in Magic cards, I invest for a long term. Sometimes, like, I'm not in and out of shops or the tournament scene enough to be able to get in and out of cards. So if I think, oh, this card's going to go up in the next month, then that's not. I might make a video to tell you about that, but I'm not in the shops. I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I'm not always able to get out of shops and take advantage of swings in prices. So when I look at cards, I look at things for the long term, and typically I look at how will this card act when it rotates out of standard, because I think that's the biggest swing in price in general. So as you look at my notes, release means this is the price of the card like right now up until the release of the set. So when it comes to Dragons of Tarkir, so it might be selling for $8 on eBay or $10 at a big box site, and so this is what it's at right now. And then up to the release, basically up to the release date. Now, after the cards are released, then they see play, and then you see if the card is actually good or not. Will the card be a playable card? So sometimes you look at cards and you're like, oh, this card's great. Like for instance, let's look at the new Sarkhan, the Temur colored Sarkhan, and say, oh, that looks so awesome. I love that Sarkhan. He's so good. But then when you try to play him in a deck, and you see he's not really that good, I'm just speculating here, obviously, but you see he's not that good, then his price goes down. So before a set comes out, it's really hard to make predictions. There are some times, like I didn't have these videos up in time when Fate Reforged came out, but I was all over Tasigur from the moment I saw him. I was like, that guy is going to be incredible. He's going to get played in Standard. He's going to get played in Modern. I scooped up sets on eBay for like $10, $12, $13. Play sets of him, 4 of them for those price, and that was a great investment. Now he's like a $10 card, and I think he's only going higher. I'll do a video on him later, but anyway, so short term, that means when the card becomes legal to play. So as soon as Dragons of Tarkir cards become legal to play and they're available for you to buy, and all the time that they're legal in Standard. So that's what short term means. What's he going to do, or what's the card going to do while it's legal to play? So that's short term. Now, long term is after it rotates out of Standard, because this is when you get the wild price swings. So for instance, the Scry lands in Theros, right now some of them are, for the last set, or typical Malder, whatnot, they're like $10 cards, right? And Red Blue one's a $10 card, I believe, too. Those are going to plummet in price after Theros rotates out. Right now, they're heavily played. They're really good lands in Standard, but they're subpar in Modern. Now, sure, a couple of them might get played a little bit. The Malady might get played. And the Red Blue one might get played as a 1 or 2 of. But for the most part, you're not going to see those played over fetch lands and shock lands, or the lands that filter from Lorwyn block, or from Eventide or Shadowmoor. I'm sorry, Shadowmoor block. But anyway, so you're either going to get swings where the card goes up, or the card's going to go down. If the card is basically a standard card, even if it's a standard staple card, the price is going to plummet if it doesn't get played in Modern or Legacy. If a card gets played in Modern or Legacy, the price is going to go up because the card's no longer being printed. While it's being printed, people are buying it, people are opening packs, and the supply meets the demand while it's illegal in Standard. However, once it rotates, there's always new players coming into Magic. So what happens is the supply stays the same, but the demand for the card goes up, just like old school dual lands. I mean, look what happened when Star City Games created the Open Series and started having Legacy on Sundays up until recently. Dual lands went through the roof. So, you know, you had a supply, and even those creeped up over time. I mean, when I started playing, you could get dual lands for $5. So, you know, and for the longest time, they were just $10 cards. But anyway, so I'm going to give you a few examples of cards. So when I spot this card, I might say, this card you're going to get, because this card, you need to get a hold of this card, because it's going to go up in value after it's out of print. So first card on my screen here is Inquisition of Kozilek. So this was from Worldwake. It's a black, and you should know the card by now. Its target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. Converted mana cost 3 or less. That player discards it. This is a Modern staple, because in Modern and Legacy, it's all about playing cards for 1 or 2 mana, 3 mana at the most. Sure, there's some cards that cost more, but this is basically hits the key cards in all decks. It's an uncommon. So personally, I think commons and uncommons are really good investments if you can get the right ones, the key ones. So Inquisition, you know, it was probably $1 card at the time that World Week was out, but now it's a $6 card. Just the regular version of it's a $6 card. Will it get reprinted in the new Zendikar block? It might, but if it has different art, then this one will maintain a lot of its value. The other thing is foils. Foils are the way to go when it comes to common and uncommons, because commons and uncommons are pretty plentiful. However, if it's undervalued in the standard format, but has usability in a later format after it's rotated out, then you're really getting a bonus. So Inquisition of Kozilek, it's a $30 foil. You could have got it for like $5-6, I believe, back when World Week was legal as a foil, but now it's $30. I mean, that's a huge investment. If you got those at $6, you have 5 times your money now. Next card over, Serum Visions. It's a $9 common. It's a common, and it's $9. So, man, if you just could have scooped those up, you just pick them up in drafts, wherever, and just sit on them. You're like, man, this card's gonna be really good. Any card that draws any card that will let you draw a card or scry or look at cards for 1 blue, especially instants, really good. It's a $25 foil. And it's played in Twin and basically anything in blue and modern this is played in. It can even play in Legacy to a degree. Next card, Remand. $16 just for the card alone, $45 for foils. I'm not trying to brag, but I bought tons and tons of cases of Ravnica. I mean, tons and tons of cases. Because they had Shocklands. This is the original Ravnica I'm talking about. They had Shocklands in it, which was just unheard of that you were going to get these new dual lands, even if you took damage. So those original Shocklands were selling for, like, some of them were selling for like $100 for a playset at pre-sales on eBay. So I was like, I bought like case after case after. I can't remember how many cases. I bought like 25 cases of Ravnica and busted them and sold them on eBay. And so I have tons of commons and uncommons sitting from Ravnica sitting in my house. I have so many playsets of Remands, and now they're like $60 a playset. And the foil ones, $45. Usually I just take my foils and I stick them away, unless it's a key foil that I can get some value from. But I've learned over the years to hold on to those key foils. So anyway, those Remands, it's just ton of money. When I think a card reaches its final value, then I'll probably, then I'll sell it, but or trade it for something else that I think I can just, turn that into more money. But anyway, this is the way I look at my cards. I look at cards that I think, especially commons and uncommons, that I can try to pick up foils of. And I'm gonna create a video series where I go over key foils that you can pick up now, even if they're a little higher than when you could have got them when they launched. But if you sit on them for a year or two, then they can turn into good money for you. Now, if the world economy crashes and nobody can afford to play Magic anymore, then it's not like buying gold or silver and then holding on to that. But hey, it's fun to buy and hold on to Magic cards and then later turn them into something else. So I have a lot of things that I'm sitting on right now. I will just throw this nugget out. Buy Tassigurs, trade for Tassigurs, even at $10, $12, whatever. Sit on Tassigurs. That's your next Bob, in my opinion. Dark Confidant, that is. So I'll make another video on that. But this is kind of the way I look at things and where I'm coming from. Again, I love playing Magic, and my channel is not about how to play Magic or how to be better at Magic or what cards are good to play with. It's not about that. So if I'm ripping on a card, I'm not ripping on it because it's not fun to play with or good. I'm ripping on it because it's just not a good investment. So please understand that when you watch my videos. And if you're into it for some money and you want to make some money off your collection and you want to be a good trader and smart about it, then watch the vids. This has been Rob with MTG Investor. A little bit about me. Peace out and happy trading, guys.